Let's finish the year strong. Hey ladies, I'm back and this is the Mamas in Control podcast. I'm Heather Chauvin and we have a few weeks left of 2021. It's go time. So every single day you're going to hear a podcast from me. This podcast are tips, tricks, strategies, clips from inside of our mastery and our mastery business coaching experience. We talk about parenting. We talk about emotional health. We talk about managing our energy and our time. But more importantly, this is about how we show up in the world. We all know who we want to become. We know what we don't want in our lives. Therefore, we know what we do want in our lives. And sometimes figuring that out, that's where the magic happens. When we know how to master our fear, master our guilt, master our resistance, and not push through it. This is not about burnout. It's not about hustling. This is about showing up, shifting our identity and showing up in a way that feels aligned and alive with the life that we want to be living. Whether it's at home or in your career, you could work in corporate, you could be a business owner, whoever you are in the world, you are ready to make a bigger impact. You are ready to feel alive. So if you are somebody who's been following me for a while and waiting until we open the doors to our coaching programs, now is the time. We are doing our interviews for 2022 start dates. So head on over to heatherchauvin.com/mastery. Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/mastery. And if you are interested in our mastery business coaching experience, this is for women, professional women who are either trying to leave corporate and want to market their skills. You are a badass and you know you're good at it, but you just have no idea how to do marketing or sales. Check out our mastery business experience. That's Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/business. And maybe you have no desire to start a business, or maybe you don't own a business and you are just incredibly overwhelmed and you have no idea where to start. And the thought of entering a longer term program, whether it's 8 months with a big investment, feels really overwhelming to you. That's why this year we decided to open the doors for the first time ever publicly for our Mastery Jumpstart experience. This is a 2-month container of space helping you start to get the engine going, creating that momentum for you. So you get everything that we give our students inside of our mastery experience. You get a mentor, you get access to me, you get the modules, you get the live calls. And it's only 2 months, which means it's a fraction of the investment as well. So if you've been hanging out a while and you've been wanting to work with me, but you're like, holy crap, how am I going to make this happen? Now is the time. But here's the trick. The doors do close at the end of December, and we will not be opening them again for Mastery Jumpstart until the spring. So now is the time to join us and book that call. So head on over to Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/mastery. You have one life and so many opportunities to change the trajectory of how you feel and what your future looks like. Now is the time to take that action. heatherchauvin.com/mastery. Do not pass up this opportunity. Once the doors are closed, they will be closed until the spring. All right, let's dive into today's podcast.
How our stories often are part of our identity. And that identity is sometimes something that no longer is really serving you. So I really experienced this in a couple of different ways. So this last week, I went on it's called a larch march. Every fall up in the high alpine area, the larch trees change and shift colors. And these trees are absolutely spectacular. Maybe those of you up in Canada, they're probably a little lower elevation, so a little easier to see. But here they're like up in the high alpine, and they are absolutely gorgeous. They're like my spirit trees. So we decided to do this, and there are lots of places that we could go that would have been kind of a lower mileage, but we decided that we had to be big and go on a 20-mile hike through the whole day. So I am like incredibly, incredibly grateful that my body is able to do this, to have this big push, to have this big energy output. And I recognize that throughout my life, I've been sorry, I just heard it sounds like my daughter did not make it to school. So I just got a little distracted. I was a elite level bike racer, a high level athlete, and I lived in that energy of push. I lived in that energy of go big, go home. And that is what connection looked and felt like to me. And that identity of I can do really, really big, hard things is such a huge part of who I am and how I show up in the world. Like, yeah, sure, off the couch, I can go on a 20-mile hike. Just watch me. I'm going to prove to you. So I went on this hike, and it was an incredible experience. Again, so grateful that I have the ability to do this and time that I was able to take the time. But I came home, and the emotional shitstorm that came from the amount of exhaustion that I created in my body was unreal. I thought that like my life was just like unraveling around me. And I started to really look at and realize, like, what is this story about who I have to be and how I have to prove myself and how I have to relate to others that comes up in my life? And why am I holding on to this? Why is this still a piece of me? So this story of like, I can do hard things. That's who I am. I have to go and do a 20 march. It's really not serving me anymore. And I haven't quite been able to take the space to really look at it and unfold. But when I unfold it, so I'm hoping that maybe we're going to move into a little bit of a meditation. And I know everybody's sort of in different places. Like some of us are in cars and with kids and whatnot. So just, take a moment to listen as you're able. And you can always come back to this in the recording and whatnot. But I was just really trying to figure out like what is that story? Why is it such a part of me? And how can I begin to explore it in new and different ways so that I can better understand how to take care of my body now, being a woman in my mid-40s? Like, do I really have to hike 20 miles to see larches? I mean, it's pretty cool, but like I'm paying for it. Okay. I hope that makes sense. I mean, that was kind of a lightweight story. I have other pieces of my identity that I've really been looking at. Like, what is my role in my family of origin? Is that story the way that I have always shown up as the one who has to be everything to everyone, the one who has to have it all together, the one who has to always be, self-sufficient? Is that story truly serving me anymore? What does it mean and look like for me to change and alter that? And how can I get to that? I can get to that by questioning, by really listening and moving into that space of wisdom that we're so often cut off from. So I don't know about you guys, but for me, like, I feel like our society, our world really likes it when we stay here, like, whoop, up in our heads, like we're going to solve this problem. We're going to get to it. And I think that sometimes with the work of Byron Katie, because it's called inquiry, we think that that's where we're supposed to be working from. But really, when I'm in the inquiry work, I am working from down here and in my gut and in my heart. And so I want us to spend a moment. We're going to get down into that heart, gut space of wisdom. And then we're going to move into our inquiry.
I came across Heather on Instagram and her podcast more or less simultaneously in February of 2021. At first, I was really intimidated by her, and I listened to a couple podcasts and kind of put it on the back burner and said, well, maybe at some point I'll be ready for this. Strangely enough, I came across her again through the personal training program I was doing. And in June, I decided to take the leap and trust the process. I'd made the decision to take a step in my professional life and my career where I was basically very, very scared of what I was getting myself into. And I felt like I needed some support, and I was intrigued by the idea of the community and also the methods that Heather teaches. And so I decided to join, to stop repeating some of my past cycles where I would always tell myself, I will be happy when. And, it's just recreating the same patterns over and over when you put those goalposts and you say, okay, well, I'll be happy when I get the job. I'll be happy when we build the house. I'll be happy when I finish my PhD. I'll be happy when I get the next job. And in the meantime, your life is happening without you. And you reach those goals and you feel empty because you realize that that goal itself is not what was going to make you happy. And so for me, being able to let go of that fixation on the goal and enjoy my life and enjoy the process of becoming who I want to be and loving and accepting myself as I am now and loving and accepting who I was before and thanking for her for getting me here. How you don't have to kill yourself to be worthy. How you don't have to try and please everyone around you and live up to some imagined ideal. That we can let go of all of that and live so much more authentically, at peace with ourselves, mindfully, intentionally, and just be able to really get down to who we are and let go of all of those preconceived notions we have about motherhood, about what it means to be a woman, and, connect with what it is we really want. What is that deep inner desire? What is that why? And understand that the fears that we have of becoming that woman, they're just showing us where our work is, and that the fear of failure and fear might not be the worst fear we have. Oftentimes it's the fear of success, of what will happen if I do truly step into my full potential and my full power.
Well, that's it. And I wanted to thank you for listening today because I truly believe you are exactly where you need to be. And now I have a favor to ask. In exchange for the value you've gained from this free podcast, I'd be forever grateful if you would leave us a review on iTunes. Share the show with at least one woman in your life who you feel would benefit, and or take a screenshot and share it on social media. And always feel free to tag me at Heather Chauvin. The world does not benefit from your guilt and fatigue. The world needs more women who are willing to unlearn everything they've been taught. Women who are courageous enough to feel good and not let guilt run the show. I believe you are that courageous woman. To see if my community and coaching is the right fit for you and your big vision, the relationships you desire, the money, time, energy that you know deep down you are capable of creating, then head on over to heatherchauvin.com/work with me. That's Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/work with me, and take the next step in the right direction. Taking a stand for how you feel means you are taking a stand for how your children show up as adults. And if you have a personal question or topic you'd like me to answer on the podcast, text me 313 313-710-5199. 313-710-5199. You are so worthy of feeling good. Now go do some scary shit.